This is KI5CY, and well, I got most of the video done, but you know, some of it's missing. I'm just going to throw in pictures of certain parts of it because the camera overheated in spots, and when we thought it was on, it wasn't on, and there was a time when I forgot to push the button and turn it on. But for the most part, y'all should probably get the gist of what I've done. I want to be up front and say that I did this mostly half-assed. I didn't do this near as good as I did the Skeeter, but the two different boats. I mean, the Skeeter, for the most part, is all there. This Glastron, it's rough. I mean, it's really rough. So, with that being said, here's what I got. The server in the background making all that racket, and of course the garage is still a complete and utter disaster. Hopefully tomorrow we get that cleaned up. I might do a video of it, you know, time lapse of everything getting picked up. So here's the first image, because like I said, the camera wasn't recording. I didn't hit record whenever I did this. And pretty much all I did, and you can't see it, it's just laying there on the ground, is it's an oscillating saw. It has a round blade on it. That's how I cut that open. And then what you see on the ground there is pretty much the way it fell out. I mean, I literally did it with my fingers, just knocking it out. There's the back piece, and it still had wood on it at the time. And it also had a curve well, actually, you look at it here, it doesn't really have the curve to it. But as it set out, it really started to get a curve on it. This is where the seat was. At that left side, it's not totally rotten, but it's in bad shape. On the right side, you can see how rotten it is. Tomorrow, I've already actually cut a good section of it out. But I'm going to cut a little bit more, and I picked up some CSM today because all I had was cloth, and I really hate working with cloth. So that being said, I got the cloth, or I got the CSM, and I'm going to put wood in there. What do they call those, stringers? The stringers are pretty soft, but fortunately there in the middle it's got some pretty thick fiberglass acting as, you know, kind of stringers as well, but the wood itself is completely exposed. This is probably the single poorest built boat I've ever had the misfortune of working on, and hopefully it'll just be, you know, temporary if I don't have to immediately cut it up, you know, because the transom breaks or something like that. Hope not, but it's not going to be my forever boat. I really want to find an aluminum. Let me turn my radio down. I want to find an aluminum boat to put that motor on. Alright, this next part that's coming up here is where I think I explained before. In this transom, you know, you have the transom, but behind, I don't know what you would call those little pontoon type things that stick out towards the back, but there's wings that go off in like 45-degree angles off of that. There was no way I was going to be able to dig all that out, and also no way of me getting glass in there to basically cover up the two membranes, because there's the lower hull. They put plywood on it, just one layer of plywood, and then they put fiberglass over that. They had a second layer of fiberglass, or a second layer of wood and fiberglass, but they didn't do that until afterwards, and they put the top on, and then I guess shot it with the chop gun at that point. Needless to say, it would be ugly if I tried to take the top of the boat off, you know, and do it the proper way. That boat's not worth it. It really isn't. I mean, I could have fixed a lot of things on it doing it that way, you know, changing changing the wood out and using Kusa board. But again, like I said, the boat was not worth it. This is just temporary, until I find something better. This is bigger than the Skeeter. I've already got the Skeeter sold. I just needed something bigger for me and my wife to fish off of. It was too hard to get around in the Skeeter and trying not to step on a little dog in the process. Where I've got a pretty good sized deck on this boat, and that little dog can crawl around underneath there all it wants to. Its heart can stay out of the sun, and she'll be fine. So this next video is me taking fiberglass cloth and covering up those insides, still going in far enough that it's actually behind the line of those little pontoon like things in the back. I honestly, I don't know what you call those things. The two humps that stick out the back. So we've exceeded that. I've exceeded that, but I can't go any further than that because there's rotten wood, and if you look in there's the inside, or going towards the outside skin, wood that's rotten, then another layer of fiberglass, then another piece of wood, and then the back layer, and you can see the edges cup over each other, but they're not sealed. So I mean, if I was to pour the carbon core in, it would just go around and then down inside the hull of the boat. Alright, at this point I lost the video where I finish up the rest of the stitching around the perimeter of that cut. But I mean, it wasn't any different than what you're seeing there. It's just I stuck a piece of wood inside there to take the bow out of it, to push it back on the bottom, and then finalize the stitching it up. I had to do a little prying on the right side, which it's a little thinner on the right side, but it should be fine. I mean, it's still 1.25 inches thick, so it should be good. But here's the video now of us pouring it, which isn't any different than the Skeeter, other than I made the funnel out of cardboard instead of making a wood funnel. Alright, well, it's Saturday. I've gotten this thing about the best as I can get it. So we're going to go ahead and fill it. It looks horrible, but ultimately when it's all done, you won't even be able to tell what I did. We couldn't go all the way out into the wings here. I don't know if you can see that out here. It actually goes out to here at an angle inside, but the stringers are actually right here, and then there's a horizontal stringer here. I don't know what that's called. But we're going to go ahead and just pour it, get it done. There it is.
Now you're recording yourself recording.
Yeah. Still got some holes I didn't know about. But by the time we got to the top, it was already coagulating, even though I factored in for a higher temperature. Let's see. It's kind of low right here, coming up. And about the same right here, it's coming up. Because it started getting hot. Which is pretty evident when you look at the edges sticking out there. We're doing our best just to try to get it higher up on the other ends, which we tried to do with the stick and with the hammer, and it just wouldn't settle out. But it should be fine. I don't expect there'll be any issues. I don't believe that's coming out anymore. So that was pretty much it. It looks horrible, and whenever I'll hit it with not with the flappy wheel, but with the big Scotch-Brite disc, get it all scuffed up, because it's all deep. None of it is sticking out except there on the bottom where it's run off the edge. That I'll knock down. But I'll hit it with Bondo or adhesion promoter, and then some Bondo, and then I'll cover it up with paint, and you won't even be able to tell that we did any of it, because I did the cutaway just as wide as, is about an inch in on what the motor bracket is, so you'll never be able to see it. So with that, KI5CEY, wishing you all 73s, and y'all be good.